Check out this rhombus. We have a situation where they give us 4 different angles within this rhombus, and let's label it very carefully. And knowing where this is going, actually, I'm going to just redraw the rhombus because they drew the diagonals, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We're not going to need them. Not going to need them at all. And one of the properties we're going to use for rhombi, rhombuses, is that the opposite angles are congruent. Let's read. Angle XYZ, which would be this entire angle right here. We'll draw it in purple, label it in purple. That is 7n plus 2 degrees. All right, good to know. And then XWZ is 4m plus 8, also degrees, of course. And we know that those are equal to each other. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you that setting this equal to that isn't really going to help very much because this one is n, that one's m. You're going to have one equation with 2 variables. It's not going to get you very far. Okay, slight change of color. This will be blue. May not show up too much differently, but we'll do it anyway. Angle YZW is 7p plus 10. That's degrees. And then WXY is 10p minus 32 degrees. Well, that didn't turn out very neat, did it? Okay, well, it's 10p. Let's fix it. Skip the next 5 seconds of this video while I straighten this out a little bit here. 10p minus 32. Done. Much cleaner. Okay, now these are also equal to each other, so I could label them as well, but if I'm going to label these with one swoosh, I need to label these with not one, so we'll go with 2 swooshes. That means that they are congruent as well. So let's stick with blue. Major decision to decide what color to use. We're going to set this equal to that, so 7p plus 10 equals 10p minus 32. And again, we could have done that here, but we would have an n, we'd have an m, we would have 2 variables and 1 equation. Here we have 1 variable, 1 equation, so it's going to work. So we're going to subtract 10p from both sides, subtract 10 from both sides, and that gives us negative 3p equals, those cancel as well, negative 42. We'll divide by negative 3, and we're going to get 14. Okay, good to know. Well, now we know one of the answers. P is 14. Now, there's a lot more to find. We still have to find M and N and all kinds of fun stuff. I like to just, without finding M and N, because we really don't know how to find them yet. We don't have the information to find them yet. What we could do is plug 14 in right here and figure out what it's going to be. Just saying, okay? So we're going to take the 14, we're going to plug it in here, and we're going to say, well, let's see, 7 times 14 plus 10. Well, 7 times 14 is 98. 98 plus 10, that's going to give me 108. So this angle right here is, and this is getting kind of cluttered, but this is a 108 degree angle, which means that this is also a 108 degree angle. If you're not labeling all that, that is okay. Now, if you do it over here and you're like 108, make sure you're not saying, oh, this side is 108. No, this is actually 54. The whole thing is 108. Well, we also have another property in rhombuses, I almost said trapezoids, rhombuses that we're going to use, and it's this. Any 2 consecutive angles are supplementary, and it actually has to do more with the fact that it's a parallelogram than it does a rhombus. And same here. These are congruent, not because it's a rhombus really, but because it's a parallelogram. So 108 plus something is going to give me 180, and we'll do that. And we're going to write it as an equation just to kind of make sure we understand the idea. So separate little work here. 108 plus this angle right here is 180. So let's see, plus the measure of angle ZWX, and that's equal to 180, which means if I subtract 108 from both sides, that's going to give me 72. So a 72 degree angle, measure of angle ZWX is 72. Well, at this point, I know a little bit more. So ZWX, oh, that's not listed. Oh, well. But we do know a couple of the other ones. So we have YZW. YZW, we know that it's 108. We also know that the one with the X in the middle, VXW. Oh, tricky. Okay. VXW, well, if this whole thing is 108, then, like I said a minute ago, this side must be 54, and this side must be 54. That's a property of rhombuses. So this is 54. Used the V on you there. Okay, so we now know that this angle is 72 degrees, which means that this angle is also 72. I was going to clutter that corner, but let's not. That's going to help us find N and M, so let's do that in a separate space. There's a lot of things going on here. We're going to have 72 equals 7N plus 2. Subtract 2 from both sides. That's going to give you that. N is equal to 10, okay? Good to know. All right, this is also 72. So 4m plus 8 is equal to 72. So 4m equals, having a hard time with my m's, 64. M is equal to 16. Okay, that's good. And XYZ, 72. We know that one as well.